Hi guys, Steph here. Right, what have we got for you here? What we've got for you is yet another lovely pen that was sat in a box in my stock that was a little bit tired, just needed a little bit of TLC. Not only does it need, or did it need a little bit of TLC, it's a pen that deserves to be loved, to be used, to be enjoyed by somebody out there. Okay, so what we're going to do is try and find a new home for this gorgeous pen. So what we've got for you here, let's take you straight to the clear barrel imprint, as you can see there. And what it reads, from the left, it has G.O.S. Parker. Underneath that, it has Toronto. And then if we move to the right slightly, to the top, it says Lady Duofold. And then underneath there, it has the Lucky Curve banner. And then to the right, it says Fountain Pen. And then underneath, it has Canada. So it's a lovely Lady Duofold Lucky Curve made in Canada. Now these pens, the Lucky Curves and the Lady Duofold pens, they came in numerous different colours, different trim, etc. I've actually seen some with clips on them, as you can see here. This is what we term as a ring top version, and this one, as you can clearly see, comes in this gorgeous Lapis Lazuli. Okay, now the Lapis Lazuli comes in this gorgeous sort of blue effect, and you'll see it has these sort of cream sort of dots and blotches running throughout the pen. Okay, you can see the barrel slightly darker than the cap, which is normal for these particular pens. Some of them are far worse than this. In my opinion, this one is still a very nice, presentable pen and still a nice, presentable colour. But a gorgeous, gorgeous pen. Now, the pen was made, I would say, the late 1920s, getting into the 1930s. The size of it, from the top of the cap to the bottom of the barrel, not including the ring top, is 114 millimeters capped. Around the diameter, it's 11 millimeters in diameter. We'll show you in a moment. It's a button filler. You've already seen there. This one has the 3 cap bands, which indicates that it was actually sort of, if you like, the top of the range. A lot of these 3 cap bands indicating that, you know, they are sort of top of the range, you know, of that particular range of pens. You can see to the top it's got this knurled knob to the very top, or this finial, and as we've just shown you, to the top of the cap there, we've got this gold coloured ring top, as you can see there. Now, just coming back to the sort of the barrel imprint there, and as we've said, the banner underneath says Lucky Curve. Now, for you people that don't know, I'm sure there's some of you will actually ask the question, why was it called the Lucky Curve? And the reason being this. Is the pen disassembled, and what I wanted to do is show you, for you people that have not seen this, why is the pen called a Lucky Curve, is because of this particular feed here. You can see it's what we term as a Christmas tree feed, but there to the end you can see that is why it's called a lucky curve. And in effect, what happens is that when we install a new sack, the sack actually sits against the lucky curve here, and that helps to wick the ink into the feed. Okay, but we've shown you these in the past, these feeds, this Christmas tree feed from the period, but it's nice to see an original sort of lucky curve feed, as you can see there. Okay, so what we'll do, we'll reassemble everything. Okay, but I just thought I'd like to show you the feed, because to be quite honest with you, they're not very common. A lot of these feeds get cut off to make installation a bit easier, but to find the original lucky curve as it is here, rather unusual, but I thought I'd show it to you people, for you people that have not seen the feed before, and hence the name the lucky curve. Okay, so hopefully that explains what the lucky curve actually means, not only on this particular pen, but they made lots of other models under the lucky curve banner. Now, as I said a little bit earlier, we've got this blind cap to the very bottom here. Lovely and clean. As I said, it's had TLC, it's been fully disassembled, everything's been clean, it's got a brand new sack in the pen, and as we've said, it's now ready to go, and we need to find a new home for this gorgeous, gorgeous pen. You can see it's a button filler, as we've mentioned. Okay, so let's pop that back on again, the blind cap. So a gorgeous, gorgeous example. Let's unscrew the cap for you. Let's show you the pen in a few different angles so you can see most things. A very nice example, and yet another gorgeous pen that is sat in a box somewhere that was just doing nothing. As I said, definitely deserves to be used and enjoyed by somebody out there. So we've got the threads, we've got the section there, very typical of these pens, again of the period. They've got this sort of ridge to the top of the section towards the nib, and there's the nib, a gorgeous Parker Lucky Curve pen, number 2, with PC down to the bottom, and again I'm assuming the PC to the bottom simply stands for Parker Company. Underneath we've got, as you saw earlier, the Lucky Curve feed, and this what we term as a Christmas tree feed. Now let's just show you a little bit of a close-up of the nib. So here's a close-up of the nib, as you can see there. Very nice indeed. Okay, and then underneath, what you saw earlier is this lovely, what we term as a Christmas tree feed. Very nice indeed. Okay, so you can see everything in more detail there. Again, very nice indeed. Now, it is rather a short pen, but even with my large hands, it's still quite comfortable to hold and to use. Now, I know a lot of you people out there, you know, you will actually post the caps on the pens. I personally don't do that. I sort of try and discourage it because I've seen the damage, the marks it can do to the pens. But I'm sure it is, well, I'm sure you can post the cap to the end, makes the pen a lot longer if you wish to do that. Now, because we've put a brand new sack in here, everything is lovely, clean and ready to go. We're not going to fill it, we'll just simply we'll do a dip test just to see how the pen writes. So we've got our paper. Let's dip it into the ink here and let's see how it writes. So we've got a Lady Duofold, and this one being the Lucky Curve. Date in the pen 1930s, but maybe even the early 1920s. I'm saying, sorry, not early, the late 1920s into the 1930s. It's writing very nicely indeed. It's got a soft nib, so you can feel a nice response from the nib. By the looks of it there. Okay, so we've run out of ink. Doesn't really matter. But there you go. It's got a lovely soft, sort of a rather bouncy nib. Very nice indeed. Writing, I would say, with a medium line, with a little bit of pressure on a downward stroke, you can achieve a little bit of line variation. But all in all, very nice writer indeed. So there we have it. Let's pop the cap back on. So we've got a gorgeous Lapis Lazuli in colour. Beautiful colour. A Lady Duofold Lucky Curve in gorgeous condition. And what I actually missed is just to show you the button. Again, you dip the nib and a little bit of section into the ink and press down onto the button, and away you would go and write to your heart's content. So there we have it. I hope you've enjoyed looking at the pen as much as I enjoyed showing them to you people. Don't forget, leave a comment down below. Don't be shy. Give the video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. But for now, I'm just going to say Slavo Kriini from me in this beautiful pen. Bye-bye for now.